Well, welcome to our 45-minute Vinyasa practice. Find a seated position on your mat. You can sit cross-legged or you can sit on your knees if you like. Let's take just a few breaths to become present and settled on our mats. You can let your eyes close down if you feel comfortable doing that. And now bring your focus to your breath and follow the breath as it flows in, and then follow it as it flows out. About 3 more times like that. Breathing in. Feel the breath circulating in the body, and then feel the breath flowing out on the exhale. Twice more. Breathing in. And breathing out. And one more big deep breath. And then let it go. You can let your eyes open if you like. Bring your hands to your knees, palms facing down. Sit up nice and tall. Now shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and then pull the shoulders back and down. Do that again. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears and then back and down. One more time. Shrugging the shoulders up. And then exhale and bring them down. Now relax the shoulders. Look off to the left and then to the right. And then again to the left. And then back to the right. Back to center now, and then drop the right ear towards the right shoulder, and let your chin come to your chest, and now left ear towards left shoulder, and now lift your chin up, looking towards the sky, and now right ear towards right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear towards left shoulder, and lift the chin high. Let's go around one more time this direction. Chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, lift the chin high. Now level the chin, and let's go back the other way. Left ear towards left shoulder, bring your chin to your chest. Right ear to right shoulder, and lift the chin up. Second time around this side. Left ear towards left shoulder, chin to chest. Right ear towards right shoulder, lift the chin up. And last time around. Finish with the chin high, and then level the chin. Bring the right hand down. Reach the left hand straight up. Press down on the left sitting bone, and now reach up through your left wrist. So you're really lengthening the left side body. Now I feel a stretch all the way from the armpit on the left side down to my hip on the left side. Keep reaching straight up through the wrist. Relax the fingers. Relax the left hand. Now pull the left wrist up and over a little bit. Keep drawing the navel in so you're not rounding the low back as you do that. And come down a little bit more if you can, deepening the sensation in that stretch. And now engage your core as you rise up. And bring your left hand down. Reach the right hand straight up. Press down on the right sitting bone. And remember to reach through the right wrist instead of the fingertips. Relax the energy in the hands. You don't need all that energy in your hands. Reach up through the wrist a little bit more. And now bring that right wrist up and over to the left. Keep pressing down on the left sitting bone. One more breath. Now engage the core as you rise up. And let's bring the arms out to a T. Take a twist to your right, palms facing to the right. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Inhale back to center. Reach the arms high. Now interlace the fingers and invert the palms. Stretch the palms up towards the sky. Now look up towards the hands. Press the palms towards the sky a little bit more. And then as you exhale, slowly lower the hands. Keep the elbows straight. Keep pressing through the palms and the heels of the hands. And then eventually, bring the hands down to the mat. Press the palms into the mat. Lean forward. Keep your spine long. Try not to round. Now bend the elbows. Keep the spine long as you come down. And then let your chin come to your chest. Round your spine. Bring your forehead to your hands if you can. Now press into the palms, straightening the elbows. And slowly rise back up. Lift the hands off the mat. Reach the arms up and overhead. Stretch the palms up high and then look up. Now level the chin. Release the hands. Bring them out to a T. We've got a twist to the left this time. Take a deep breath and exhale and twist, looking over the left shoulder. Do that one more time. Deep breath in and exhale and twist. Let it come back to center. Let your arms come back up and overhead. Interlace the fingers. This time bring the hands to the back of the head. Reach your elbows apart from one another. And then drop the right elbow down. Reach the left elbow up. See if you can pull that right elbow down a little bit more. Left elbow rising. And now engage the core as you come back up. and the left elbow comes down this time, and the right elbow reaches up. And again, rising, and back to the other side, right elbow down, left elbow up, and inhale and come back up. And last time, left elbow down, or right elbow reaching high. Now, come back to center, release the hands. Bring the hands behind you this time. I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Press your hands into the mat with the pinky fingers pretty much next to each other. Pull the elbows a little bit closer together if you can. Now on an inhale, lift your chin very slowly. Press the palms into the mat. Look up towards the sky. Take a deep breath. Exhale, let the breath go. Do that again, a big deep breath. Then as you exhale, lean forward so you feel the weight come off the hands. Let your arms float up and overhead. As your arms float up and overhead, bring the palms together, then interlace the fingers. Press the palms towards the sky. Second time here, look up towards the palms. Press the sitting bones down, draw your navel in. As you exhale, slowly keep pressing through the palms, just like we did before, and bring the hands down. Maybe feel a stretch in the shoulders as you do that, particularly as the hands come down even farther. Now lean forward. Keep your spine long. Try not to round at the belly. Bring the hands to the mat. Press the palms into the mat. Now bend the elbows. Keep your spine long. Come down as far as you can. I feel a nice stretch in the low back as I do that. Now bring my forehead down towards your hands, and then press the hands into the mat, straightening the elbows. Lift the hands up off the mat. Reach them up high. And then exhale, bring the arms out to a T. Let's take a twist back to the right, left hand to right knee. Right hand is down behind you. Draw a deep breath in. And now twist from the navel. Pull the navel to the right. So you're initiating the twist from the navel instead of the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. See if there's just a little bit more space for you to twist. And then let it go. Float it all back to center. And then over to the other side. Right hand to left knee. Take a deep breath. Exhale, twist, drawing the navel to the left this time, looking over the left shoulder. One more breath, deep breath in, and exhale, find the twist, and then let it go. Good job, everybody. Bring your hands down and roll over the knees. Let's come to table pose. In table pose, find your hands right under your shoulders and your knees right under your hips, so your knees are about hip width apart. Press the palms into the mat, fingertips as well, so that your shoulders rise up. The elbows are nice and straight. Now drop your belly and lift your chin as you inhale to cow pose, and then exhale, finding your way into cat pose. Do that again, inhaling to cow, and exhaling deeply to cat. Make sure all the breath comes out on the exhale. Do that again. This is the third one. Inhaling to cow. And then exhaling deeply to cat pose. And let's do it twice more for a total of 5. Inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. This is the last one. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Now press your hands into the mat. We're going to pause here. Now draw your navel up and let your forehead come a little bit closer to your shin, not to your shins, to your thighs or your knees. Draw the navel up even more. And then exhale, back to table pose. From there, press your hips to the right. Keep weight in both hands, and then to the left. Keep the pads of the fingers on the mat, and then hips pressed to the right and to the left. And again, press the hips to the right, and then over to the left, and then one more time to the right, and one last time to the left, and then bring it all back to center. Walk the hands forward now about 1 hand length. Press the hands into the mat, and then press the hips to the right, and then glide the hips forward. Feel the weight come into the hands. The elbows are straight. Then press the hips off to the left, and then back, tailbone reaching towards the heels. Now bring the hips to the right. We're just going to make some circles with the hips. We're going to go around 3 times one direction. That's the second one for me. And then this is the third one. We'll come back towards child's pose. And then glide the hips forward and down. Lift your gaze up so you're looking straight forward. The elbows are straight. So this is a knees down, upward facing dog. Now draw the navel up towards the sky. and then press your hips back towards your heels. And inhale, draw the navel up again, and then glide the hips forward and down into the back bend. Your gaze is straight forward, elbows are straight. Now draw the navel up. Keep the core engaged as you press back towards child's pose, and then do it one more time. Gliding forward. And then back towards child's pose, or back towards table pose, and then from there press your hips to the left. I keep forgetting what I'm doing. And then bring the hips forward, and then over to the right side, and then back. We're going to go around 3 times this direction, to the left and forward, and then to the right and back. This is the last one. Now come back towards table pose, but make sure your hands are still in front of your shoulders. Now glide the hips forward and down. Look off to your left, and then back to center and look to the right. And back to center and look to the left, and back to center and look to the right. Come back to center. Now draw your navel up. Walk the hands back about 2 inches towards your knees, then tuck your toes and lift your hips. And let's find our very first downward facing dog. Now the back of my legs feel really tight, so I'm going to bend my knees a little bit, taking a little pressure off the hamstrings. That allows me to press my hands into the mat even more and reach my tailbone towards the top of the wall behind me. As I do that, I'm lengthening my spine, letting my heart drop down. Now pedal it out a little bit. Bend one knee and then the other. Straightening the leg in between. As you do that, you're starting to warm up the muscles on the back of the legs, as well as the Achilles tendon, which isn't really a muscle. It's a different kind of tissue. But you're starting to warm all that up and lengthen those muscles. Now slowly walk the feet forward to the hands. Nice slow walk forward, eventually coming to a standing forward fold at the front of the mat. Once you're there, let your head drop down and bend the knees a little bit. Bring the weight into the front of the feet. Let your head get even heavier. Start to feel a nice stretch in the back of the legs, the hamstrings, maybe even in the gluteal muscles. Now keep your chin on your chest. Draw your navel up as you rise, rounding the spine. You can drag your hands along the front of your legs if you want. And once you're up, reach your arms up and overhead, and then exhale and bring the hands to heart center. Good job. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, now swan dive, forward fold. Come to a half lift. Bring your hands to the top of your shins. Lengthen the spine. Bring the weight into the front of the feet again, and then exhale and fold forward. Keep the chin on the chest, round the spine again as we rise. Draw the navel up, maybe the visualization that works for you as you rise. Let your arms float up, and then exhale and bring the hands to heart center. Bring the arms out to a T. Now swan dive, 3rd time. Come to a half lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time, bring the hands behind you. Interlace your fingers behind your back, and then straighten the elbows if you can, reaching the knuckles towards the sky. If you brought your weight back into your heels, bring the weight forward a little bit more so your heels begin to float. And if this is creating too much sensation in the back of the legs, bend the knees just a bit. That'll let your forehead come closer to your knees or shins. Now keep the weight in the front of the feet and slowly rise. Keep your spine long as you come up. Breathe in deeply as you rise. And then once you're up, big exhale, let it all go. Do that again. Deep breath in. This time as you exhale, bring the shoulder blades closer together on the back. Press the knuckles towards the heels. Awesome work. Release the hands now. Reach them high. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Hinge at the hips as you slowly fold forward. Come to a half lift. As you exhale, step the left foot back, leaving the right foot forward between the hands. Press back on the left heel so you start to feel a nice stretch in the back of that left leg and the calf muscle. Now bring the left knee to the mat. Untuck the toes on the left foot. Press into the right foot as you rise. Reach the arms high. Reach through the wrists. Now press that right knee forward a little bit more and press your hips towards the right heel. So you're kind of pressing the hips forward and down. Notice where you're feeling sensation in the pose. Where in the body is creating sensation for you. Now bring the arms out to a T. Reach the hands apart from one another. Gaze straight forward so your gaze is level. Now take a twist to the right and then bring the left elbow to the right knee, joining the palms together into a prayer twist. Work on the alignment with the right elbow over the palms and the palms over the left elbow. Now keep the palms together. Use your core to rise, pressing into the right foot. Now hands are at heart center. Reach the arms high. And then exhale. Bring the hands down on either side of the right foot. Tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat. Step the right foot back and let's find a plank pose. Check in with your alignment. See if your shoulders, your hips, and your heels are about in the same line. And then bring your gaze forward a little bit. So you're not looking straight forward. You're looking down, maybe a foot in front of your hands. Take a deep breath. Then as you exhale, bring your knees to the mat, untuck your toes, Cobra Pose, chest and chin come down, inchworm your way into the pose, pressing the pubic bone down. See if you can lift your gaze so you're looking straight forward. Now release. Then tuck your toes, stiffen your body as you push to plank, and then lift your hips into downward facing dog. Find stillness now in downward dog, bending the knees a little bit if you need to. Lengthen the spine, reach your tailbone back, press your hands into the mat like you're trying to press the mat forward. Then on an inhale, reach your left leg up a little bit, not too high, and step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands. Then step the right foot forward to meet it. Standing forward fold, let your head drop down. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what we're doing. Bring the feet so they're a little bit wider than hip width, but not too much wider. Now bring your arms out to a T and keep your spine long. Rise halfway. Now we're going to do a standing split or a standing twist. Bend the right knee. Bring the right hand down below your face. Reach the left hand high. Notice the spine is long and I'm not letting my head drop down. My head is just reaching straight forward. You can bend that right knee a little more. Now bring weight back into the left foot. And then pick the right hand up and rotate the left hand down, bending the left knee and straightening the right leg. So twisting in the opposite direction. Let's do that one more time on each side. Pick the left hand up and bring the right hand down, bending the right knee. The left leg is straight, spine still nice and long. And the last one, left hand down, right hand up. The left knee is bent, the right leg is straight. Now bring both arms out to a T, the legs straighten, and then slowly rise. Come all the way up. And exhale and bring the hands to heart center. You can let your eyes close down if you like. Just take a couple of breaths. Feel the breath washing through the body. And one more. Now release the arms up, interlace the fingers, point the index fingers, and find a back bend now. Reach the index fingers up and back, lift your gaze up and then back if you can. Bring the weight in the front of the feet. Now with the core engaged, rise up, reaching the index fingers high, and then release the hands and swan dive to a forward fold. Come to a half lift. And then exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the mat. Step the right foot back. The left foot stays forward between the hands. Left knee's bent about 90 degrees. Press back on the right heel till you feel a nice stretch in the back of that right leg. Couple more breaths. Now bring the right knee to the mat, untuck the toes. Press in the left foot and rise to our low crescent lunge. Stretch up through the wrists. Now press the hips towards the left heel. Keep pressing the left knee forward. Now bring the arms out to a T. Take your twist to the left, palms face to the left, and then bring the elbow to the knee, join the palms into our prayer twist. Good job. How's the yoga feeling today? One more breath. Now engage the core. Press into the right foot, or left foot rather, as you rise. And then back to center, reach up high, and exhale the hands down on either side of the left foot. Tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat, and then step the left foot back into plank pose. Check in again with your alignment. Make sure that the shoulders, the hips, and the heels are all about in the same line. Take a deep breath and let it go. Do that a second time, a big deep breath and let it go. You can do one more big deep breath and exhale. Let the breath go. Bring the knees to the mat, untuck the toes, chest and chin come down. We're coming into Cobra Pose again. Elbows are bent, gaze is straight forward. Press the navel forward a little bit, deepening the back bend. And then release all the way down. Now tuck your toes, push to plank, and lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Now bend your knees and take a hop, or you can walk. The feet end up eventually between the hands. We're back to a standing forward fold. Knees can bend a little as you let your head come down closer to the mat. Now interlace the fingers, bring them behind your back, reach the knuckles up towards the sky, and remember to bring the weight forward into the front of the feet a little bit more. Now keep pressing into the front of the feet so your heels are almost floating as you rise up. And then once you're all the way up, press the knuckles down towards the heels. Release the hands, reach them high, and then bend the knees. Let's come to a chair pose. Press your tailbone down towards your heels and draw your navel up towards your chin a little bit. 2 more breaths. Stay with it. Maybe bend the knees even a little more. I found the edge of the pose. It made me step back. 1 more time. Or 1 more breath. Now straighten the legs and swan dive forward to fold. Come to a half lift. Right foot stays forward. Left foot 3/4 step back. Now bend the right knee and rise to warrior 1. And I've got that my left heel on the mat, and I'm pressing in the pinky toe of that left foot as well. The toes on that left foot are about 35 degrees or so off to the left. Right knee is bent and pointing straight forward. This is warrior 1. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are square to the front of the mat. Your gaze is straight forward. Bring the hands behind you. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Press the knuckles towards that left heel as you straighten your elbows. Now hinge at the hips and bring the right shoulder down towards the right knee. Let your head drop down. Reach the knuckles high. Take a breath. Now on the right foot, keep that right knee bent as you rise. Then once you're up, release your hands, reach them high. Straighten the right leg. Keep reaching up through the wrists of both hands. And now see if you can keep your biceps on either side of your ears. Keep your spine long. Hinge at the hips and come halfway down. Pull the right hip forward, back, and reach the fingertips forward. Then press into the right foot and rise all the way back up. Lots of core work there. Bend the right knee. We're back to warrior 1. Now bring the hands to heart center. Bring the weight into the right foot and step the left foot forward to standing mountain pose. Take a breath and let it go. Do that again, a big deep breath. And let it go. Keep the hands at heart center as you hinge at the hips, folding forward. Come to a half lift. Exhale, let your head drop down. Now step or jump back to plank pose and flow through a vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. Take a breath or 2 in upward dog. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the mat in downward dog, feeling the stretch in the back of the legs. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, reach the left leg high. And about a 3/4 step forward with that left foot. Toes on the left foot point straight forward now. Spin the right heel to the mat and rise warrior 1. Second side. Reach up high through the wrists. Anchor into the pinky toe of that right foot. Left knee nice and bent and pointing straight forward. Bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers now in the awkward way, using the non-dominant grip. Left knee still bent. Keep the spine long as you hinge at that left hip and bring the left shoulder down to the left knee. Reach the arms up and overhead if you can. Let your head drop down. Left knee stays bent. Now press into the left foot. Slowly begin to rise. Once you're there, release the hands. Straighten the left leg. Now hinge at that left hip. Reach the fingertips forward. Pull the left hip back. Come down halfway till your spine is parallel to the mat. And then press in the left foot. Deep, deep core engagement as you rise. And then bend the left knee. Bring the hands to heart center. Take a breath. And step the right foot forward so it meets the left foot. Now bring the feet so they're out to the edges of the mat. And we're going to come down to a yoga squat now. Elbows to the inside of the knees. Take a breath. You can let your weight shift from side to side if that feels good. Now let's open up the hips even a little bit more. We're going to do a bound twist here. So bring the right hand down, press the right palm into the mat, reach the left hand off to about 180 degrees. Now bring the left hand behind you, connect it with the right hand. See if you can get a hold of that or capture that right leg between the arms. Now bring weight back into the left foot. Now lift your gaze up to the left. Open that left shoulder a little more. Take a deep breath. And then release. Back to our Malasana, our yoga squat. How'd that feel? How far did you get into the pose? Bring the left hand down this time. Press the left palm into the mat. Reach the right hand up and away, 180 degrees. Bring the right hand behind, connect it with the left. So you've captured that left leg now. Now bring weight back into that right foot. And then lift your gaze and open that right shoulder up a little bit more to the right. And release. Take a breath. Now bring your hands down to the mat. Thumbs pointing towards one another. Press the palms into the mat and lift your hips, straightening your legs. Then heel toe the feet back so they're about hip width apart. And I'm going to move back to the front of the mat. Arms come out to a T. Reverse swan dive this time. Rising up as you come. Reach the arms up and overhead. Look up. And exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. On an inhale, up and back. Back bend. Now fold forward. And then to a half lift. Leave the right foot down. Step the left foot back. Runner's lunge. First time we've been here, I think. Bend that right knee a little bit more. Leave the left hand on the mat. Reach the right hand high into a lunge twist. And then bring the right hand down and reach the left hand high. Try to stay up on the ball of that left foot. Now spin the left heel to the mat. Right knee stays bent as you rise to warrior two. Right knee nice and bent, pointing straight forward. Your gaze is forward over the extended right leg. Now relax your hands a little bit. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath. Now extended side angle pose. Bring the elbow to the knee. Reach with the right hand. Anchor into the pinky toe of your left foot. And stretch out the left side body. Feel that great stretch all the way from the pinky toe on that left foot through the fingertips of the left hand. Now rise to a reverse triangle pose, straightening the right leg, reaching up and back with the right hand. Press into the right foot and stretch out the right side body. Now the arms come out to a T, palms facing down. Reach the hands apart from one another. Press into the left foot, reach the right hand forward. Triangle pose. Right hand comes down. You can rest it on the mat if you want a supported version of triangle pose. Reach the left hand high. Working on stacking the left hand over the left shoulder and the left shoulder over the right shoulder. Take a deep breath. And one more. Now bend the right knee. Bring the left hand down and come up onto the ball of the left foot. Now bring the left knee to the mat, untuck the toes. Bring the elbows down to the mat if you can. This is lizard pose. See if you can hug your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Notice how that changes the pose. And then walk back up onto the hands. Tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat. Move your right hand to the outside of the right foot. Now, we're going to reach the right leg all the way up and overhead into a three-legged dog. Reach the right leg high. Three-legged dog. Opening the hips to the right. bending that right knee, and then level the hips off. And now Pigeon Pose. Step the right knee forward to the right hand, right foot towards the left hand. Untuck the toes and bring that left knee to the mat. You remember Pigeon Pose. Stay up in the pose for a moment, breathing into the back bend. And then when you feel ready, come down to a resting pigeon, walking the hands forward, maybe coming down to the elbows. If this creates pain in your right knee, you can bring the right heel back towards your pubic bone. That should alleviate any tension or any pain you feel in that right knee. You can actually come all the way down to the chest if you want, if your body allows you to do that. Take a couple of breaths. And one more. Now, come up on the elbows and create an A shape with your arms, with your forearms. Then tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat and step the right foot back. This is Dolphin Plank Pose. Not Dolphin Pose, but Dolphin Plank Pose. So the hips, the shoulders, and the heels are all still aligned. Take a deep breath. And now walk the feet forward into Dolphin Pose, lifting the hips up. The shoulders are pretty much behind the elbows. And we've basically created the same shape here as we do in Downward Facing Dog. Take another breath. Now we're going to move to Downward Dog, and there are one of two ways to do it. There may be more, but two I can think of. One is to bring the knees to the mat to table pose, walking back up onto the hands, and then lift your hips high. The other is to keep your elbows on the mat and then walk up onto one hand and then the other. So you choose which way you want to get to Downward Dog, but we'll all meet there. Take a deep breath and exhale. Let the breath go. Do that again, a big deep breath. And exhale and let it go. On an inhale, reach the left leg up and then step the left foot all the way forward so it comes between the hands to runner's lunge. This is our second side. So our left foot is forward now. The right foot is back. Leave the right hand on the mat and reach the left hand up into a lunge twist. And then bring the left hand down inside that left foot and reach the right hand high. Balance comes into play here. Stay with it. Now spin the right heel to the mat. Left knee is still bent. Rise to Warrior Two. Second side, Warrior Two. And I'm just going to stay this way, facing the front of my mat. So I'll be facing away from you, or I'm looking away from you for a moment here. Now straighten the left leg. Right hand comes down. Left hand reaches up and back, stretching that left side body. Now bring the arms out to a T. Let's go back and pick up the extended side angle so the left knee bends. Reach the right hand up and away, anchor into the pinky toe of that right foot. Rise back to Warrior Two, and then straighten the left leg. Press into the right foot, reach the left hand forward, and then bring it down, Triangle Pose. Relax the fingers a little bit on the right hand. One more breath. Now begin to bend the left knee and bring the right hand down. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. And we're going to move towards Lizard Pose here. So up on the hands to begin. Then bring the right knee to the mat. Untuck the toes on the right foot. And then come down to the elbows if you're able to. And we'll have about 2 more breaths. See if we can hug that left knee in towards the left shoulder. And 1 more breath. Maybe let the hips drop down just a little bit more if you can. Now walk back up onto the hands and then move the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Tuck the toes and bring your right knee off the mat. Now keep that right foot on the mat. Reach the left leg up and overhead. This is where we did three-legged dog. So open the hips to the left. Work here on stacking your left hip over your right hip, reaching the left knee high. And then level the hips off. And then we're going to move towards Pigeon Pose. So bring the left knee forward towards the left hand. Left foot towards right hand. Maybe scoot that right knee back a little bit so that the left hip settles down to the mat. You can remain here another breath or so if you like, just feeling into the back bend. And then when you feel ready, come down to resting pigeon pose. Come down to the elbows first. Notice how that feels. Notice where you feel tension, where do you feel a stretch. Maybe more than one place. And if you want to come down further into resting pigeon, you can walk the hands forward and maybe let your chest rest on that bent left leg. 2 breaths in resting pigeon. 2 more. And 1 more. Good job. Now walk the elbows back so the elbows are under the shoulders. Bring the hands together, kind of clasping the hands so you form that A shape again. And then tuck the toes, bring the right knee off the mat, and step the left foot back into Dolphin plank. Second time here. 3 breaths. This is wonderful. This is a wonderful pose for core work. It engages all the muscles of the core, the abdominal muscles, the gluteal muscles, the low back muscles. When you're ready, slowly walk the feet forward. And then press the heels down, press into the elbows so you're lifting your hips up and creating about a 90-degree angle between your upper body and your lower body. 1 more breath. Now come to downward facing dog, whatever way you like. And then bend the knees. Take a hop so the feet end up between the hands. We've come back to our standing forward fold. We've been here 4 or 5 times so far. Now the arms come out to a T. Slowly reverse swan dive as you rise. And then as you exhale, bring the hands out in front of you this time with the palms facing down. And then bend the knees into chair pose. Bend the knees a little more. Take a breath. Exhale, bend the knees even more. Another deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. And last one. This time come all the way down, bring your hands behind you, and come to a seat. Once you're seated, bring the soles of the feet together into Cobbler Pose. And pull up on the ankles. Pull the shoulders back. Take a deep breath. And let the breath go. Do that one more time. Big deep breath. And let it go. Bring peace fingers to big toes and then float the feet up off the mat. Keep your spine long. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, straighten the legs and then bring the feet apart from one another, pressing through the heels. Just do the best you can. For some of you, you can straighten your legs. If you do that, it'll create a big stretch in the hamstrings. If you fall over backwards, as I know sometimes happens, that's okay too. Just enjoy the pose. Breathe deeply through the whole body. 1 more breath. Now, if you want a little bit more, just bring the feet towards one another into Heron Pose. Maybe press the toes away from your face. That'll lift the feet up. Lift your head up a little bit more. And then finish by bringing the soles of the feet back together. Cup the hands over the outside of the feet, the pinky toe side. Let your heels come towards your pubic bone, letting the knees move apart just a little bit more. Now release the hands, reach the hands forward, bring the knees towards one another so they're about hip width apart. And then let's find a little bit of a boat pose. And then release. Bring the feet down to the mat and roll down all the way to your back. Once you're there, happy baby pose. Bring the hands to the pinky toe side of the feet. Let your shoulder blades come down towards the mat. Now straighten your legs. Bring your hands down by your side. This is legs up the wall pose. Press up through the feet. The heels as well as the balls of the feet. Press down into the sacrum. Now bend the knees. Soles of the feet come to the mat. Let's find a bridge pose. Walk your feet back towards your hands. Press your feet into the mat. Lift your hips. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another on your back. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Good job. Slowly, with control, bring the tailbone to the mat. Once the tailbone lands, hug the knees into your chest. Release the knees. Let the knees float over the hips. Bring the arms out to a T. We're just going to do a gentle twist. Knees float to the left and land. Your gaze shifts to the right. Take a couple of breaths. Start to let your breath soften and lengthen. And 1 more breath. Now let your knees float back to center and then over to the other side. Knees come to the right now. Shift your gaze over to the left. Take a deep breath in. Let it flow out. Twice more. Deep breath in. And let it go. 1 more breath. And let it all go. Let your knees float back to center. Hug the knees into your chest for the last time. If you like, bring your forehead towards your knees, rounding your spine. Maybe touch the forehead to the knees. Now rock forward and back a couple of times, eventually rocking yourself to a seat. And once you're seated, find a cross-legged position. Now breathe in deeply and let your spine lengthen as you inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand down behind you. Press down on the sitting bones as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, move into the twist. We did this at the very beginning of the practice. And I suspect it may feel different now than it did at the beginning of practice. Breathe in again. And exhale, and see if you can find a little bit deeper twist, but without forcing it, without straining. And then let it go. Back to center, and then right over to the other side. Right knee or right hand comes to the left knee. The left hand is down behind you. Press down on the sitting bones as you breathe in. Exhale, and twist. And twice more. Breathing in, lengthening the spine on the inhale. And exhale into the twist. And last one, deep breath in. And exhale and let it go. And then let it come all back to center. You can bring your hands to heart center now. Draw a deep breath in, breathing in for 6, 7, 8 counts. Feel your spine lengthening, your body expanding as you breathe in. And then when you're ready, a slow exhale. Just let the breath slowly flow out, about the same number of counts as the inhale. Now do that again, breathing in deeply, 6, 7, 8 counts. And now the exhale is going to be shorter, and I want you to open your mouth exhaling. Join me now, if you like, in offering loving kindness. May you be happy. May you be well, may you be safe, may you be peaceful, and may you be at ease. Thank you so much for joining me today for our 45-minute Vinyasa practice. Namaste.